The conclusion that some poor soul resting his weary bones on your stoop is a drunk, huh?
Because 9 times out of 10.
They are, yeah. Right. Okay, go ahead. Call a cop.
Yeah? Cop!
At your service, ma'am. Gee, it's good to see you.
It's good to see you, too.
Will you share a stoop with me, please? How do you manage to look so cool?
Well, I'll tell you, I just took an ice-cold shower. I'll probably mount in about 6 minutes. So are you out here long?
Well, long enough to watch the passing parade. You have a very interesting neighborhood here.
A microcosm of humanity.
A veritable microcosm. Listen, I wanted to tell you again how much I appreciate you seeing Craig.
Well, that's my job.
Well, but you saw him right away. You didn't hassle him with a lot of red tape and come back tomorrow business. I do appreciate that.
And we're an intervention program. Jumping in without all the red tape, that's what we're all about. I just hope he comes back.
Well, I have a feeling he might. I had a talk with him afterward. Don't worry, don't worry. Hey, look, he knows I wouldn't try to con him. I think I convinced him to give it another try.
But I hope you didn't pressure him too much,
No, certainly not. Listen, I understand these kids. You come on too heavy and wham, they're gone. I know that.
Yeah, it has to be a voluntary thing. Craig has to want to help himself.
Don't we all? Especially by a pretty lady.
I hope he comes back. I really do, because I liked him. He's a very conventional, conservative kid who's scared of making waves. So he goes and streaks his hair red and blue.
Yeah, like any other patriotic American kid. You went through that stage, too?
Well, I wasn't that brave. Or patriotic.
Somehow I can't picture you with red and blue hair. Light green, maybe. It's too bad this isn't marble. It'd be a lot cooler. I bet it's cooler inside.
Not really.
Don't you have air conditioning?
I rarely use it.
Also, this can't be the most comfortable seat in the house. You do have more comfortable seats in the house.
A few. But you know what I was just about to do? I was on my way to the grocery store to get an ice-cold soda. What do you think?
The grocery? No. Very uncomfortable. There's no place to sit. All those cans of baked beans. Listen, why don't we go someplace cool that has tables and chairs? Come on, I'll buy you fresh lemonade. You remember I owe you one. Can you think of any place quiet and simple that you like?
That I like? Well, we could always go to Ryan's. I'm very comfortable there.
Really? Hey, I'd like that. You know, I haven't seen the Ryans since... Well, I bet I haven't seen them since Frank and I graduated the academy. Maeve, that's Mrs. Ryan, right?
Right.
Boy, I would really like to see her again. You know, for a conventional conservative young lady, you have some highly original ideas, Faith Coleridge. Let's go.
Why'd they close the blinds, Seneca? What are they going to do to the baby that I'm not supposed to know about?
They're going to give Arlie a blood test.
A blood test? You would stick needles into that tiny, helpless little baby. How can you willingly cause her so much pain and suffering?
There's going to be no pain or suffering. By the simple procedure of a blood test, we can determine and prevent many complications in newborns. By the way, Arlie appears to be in magnificent shape for a preemie.
You doctors just think you can play God, don't you?
Which is precisely why we lower the blinds so that well-intentioned grandmothers don't get overwrought over a blood test. Visiting hours are over, Ray. I suggest you go home.
You're not worried about illnesses or complications with Arlie. You just said that she's in magnificent shape.
Appears to be.
You ordered that blood test so that you could determine whether or not you're the father, because your ego is so monumental that you couldn't wait another day or another minute, could you?
I told you that I plan to have the blood test as quickly as possible. The sooner I find out that Arlie is mine, the sooner I can begin legal proceedings.
And when do we get the results of your test?
I should know by tomorrow.
Tomorrow? Oh, how wonderful, Seneca, that quickly. The miracles of science. Overnight, you're a father. You don't waste a lot of time on sentiment, do you?
Oh, but I have, Ray. I have wasted a great deal of it. And waste is exactly what it was with Kimberly. She didn't want my sentiment or my love, except on her terms, of course. In between engagements, theatrical and otherwise. But I'm not going to waste Arlie's time. As soon as I know that she is mine, I am suing for legal custody.
You're a very unrealistic man.
Oh, you think so?
Oh, yes, yes, I do think so. Very unrealistic. You know there's not a court in this country that's going to take a baby away from its mother without proof of neglect or abuse or mental incompetence.
Well, actually, that's why I think I'm being totally realistic, Ray. Because no court will have to take Arlie from her mother because Arlie's mother doesn't want her.
That's not true. You're trying to take the word of a sick girl who was desperate.
You
What?
are the one who wants this child. And I'm fed up to hear listening to the way you talk about it. As if it was your baby, yours to pamper, to primp, to mold into your image of what a
I
baby...
am simply trying to protect
I am going to
his
fight you
rights
on this.
as
I
a
am going to
mother.
fight you on this to the highest court if I have to. Not just because I want this baby. Because I do, if it's mine, but because I don't want you to have it. To possess it as if it was another jewel. Fine piece of furniture. A bauble to add to your collection.
I have no intention of ever possessing that child. I want to enable it to grow with comfort and ease and love and all the things that Kim was never had. What kind of father do you think you'll be? You never even heard the cries of an articulate young girl when she asked you for help and love and understanding.
I tried to understand Kimberly. I tried to
No,
help...
you didn't. You're not a giver, Seneca. You're a taker. You want to talk about possessiveness? Kim was your possession. Your little wife. Your little wife who was supposed to turn herself into a baby-making machine for you.
That's ugly, Ray.
You were ugly, Seneca. And I was the one who used to have to listen to her when she cried on the phone because you couldn't hear her. And she did cry.
Oh, she's a good little actress. We both know that.
She wasn't acting. She wanted to please you. She wanted to make you happy. She wanted to be the little wife for you. You broke her heart because you couldn't accept what she is. Now, how? If you cannot understand the simple needs of an articulate 19-year-old, how do you think you're going to understand the inarticulate needs and the selfish demands of a tiny baby?
Because a baby will not lie to me. A baby will not try to manipulate me. A baby will not try to
No,
pretend...
she certainly won't, because I will fight you ever having her. Now, right now, Kim's a little bit confused. She thinks she doesn't want this child, and it's because of everything she's been through and the fact that she has not gotten her strength back. But she will get it back. And when she does, I'm going to be right there beside her. And with my help, she is going to be a wonderful mother.
Ray, to know that Kimberly will have you as her guide, with your vast experience of child loving and child raising, just boggles the mind.
Julian, darling, can I get you a nice cold iced lemon tea?
Oh, no thanks, Maeve. I just want to finish up this brief, and then I think I'll go home and get into a nice, cool bathtub.
Oh, that sounds good to me, too. Cold showers have never been my style. They're too harsh and too sudden, but a nice cool bath is just lovely.
All right?
Hello, Faith.
Hello,
How good to see you, love.
This is my friend Jim Speed.
Ah, well, very pleased to meet you.
Hello, Mrs. Ryan. It's been a long time.
Jim Speed? Oh, well, glory's sake, of course. Oh, well, you used to come in here with Francis. The two of you were recruits at the academy.
That's right. I haven't forgotten you either, or your soda bread. Gee, you don't look a day older.
Oh, and not a day younger either, more's the pity. What a nice surprise.
Hi, John.
How are you, Faith?
I'm fine.
Good, good.
I'd like you to meet Jim Speed.
How do you do, Mr. Speed?
Jim, Mr. Ryan.
What? Sure.
Jim Speed, don't you remember from the old days? Francis and Jim were recruits at the academy.
Oh, yes, yes, Jim. Jim, how are you, lad? It's good to see you. His friend from the academy.
That's
Hey, come on up the bar, get something cool to drink. It's a miserable night out there.
Oh, that it is.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, I would love a cold beer. Lemonade? And tall lemonade for the lady, please.
Right. Well, what do they got you doing these days, Jim? You're not in this precinct, are you?
Well, I've got a desk job not too far from here.
Oh, but you're still on the force.
Oh, yeah. I just had a little accident with the leg. They've got me on the bench for a while.
Did you know that our youngest, Siobhan, has just been accepted at the police academy?
Siobhan? I didn't know that.
I did. I'm the one who processed her application.
No, really?
That's where my desk is, over at the academy.
How do you? It's a small world, you see.
Yes. Well, then you must know that she went through that agility test the other day. Oh, that poor child. You're no easier on the women than you are on the men.
No, look, equal training for the equal opportunity to get sore muscles and flat feet. I'm afraid I'm the one who put her through that ringer also. You might say I'm her mentor.
Oh,
And I thought you were so chivalrous.
Oh, I am. I bark orders very politely. I just hope Siobhan will be better disciplined than Frank and I were. Say, where's he keeping himself, Mrs. Ryan? I'd sure like to run into him sometime.
Well, as a matter of fact, he's upstairs right this minute. He's putting his son to bed. Did you know that he had a son, John? Little John, we call him.
Is that right?
Mm-hmm.
And he's here?
Mm-hmm. He should be down any minute now.
All right, here's the man in question. Jimmy. I don't believe it. Frank Ryan, you old gold bricker, you.
Speed demon himself. How you doing?
Good to see you, Ryan. You know, I have seen your ugly mug in the papers from time to time, but they leave out all those warts, Frank. I don't know.
Oh, well, I see you haven't changed, have you? How are you, Faith?
I'm fine, Frank. How are you?
Pretty good. Did you two come in together?
Yes, I invited the fair Miss Coleridge out for a cool drink. She chose Ryan's. I tell you, Frank, it's like being home again.
Yeah.
Come on, let me buy a drink. Sit down here.
Well, I'm sitting with someone. Why don't you sit with us? Come on, I'll take your drinks. Is that all right?
Sure, why not?
Yeah, okay, great.
Great. Hey, go on, slide in, Jim. Jill, this is an old colleague of mine, Jim Speed. Jim, this is a young colleague of mine and my law partner, Jillian Coleridge.
Nice to meet you, Jim.
Jillian? Well, I guess I've met all the Coleridges now. You and Jillian and Roger. Is that it?
That's it.
And a right fine family it is. To the Coleridges.
Oh, I'll drink that. To the honest-to-goodness Coleridges.
Can I get you something? Jill? Frank, how about that?
No, I'm
No,
fine.
thanks, I'm fine.
So tell me, what have you been up to?
Well, I was just telling your folks I'm over at the police academy now, training your little sister for the wearing of the blue, I might add.
Oh, no, you're kidding me. That's terrific. Well, how's she doing?
Yeah, she's all right for a Ryan. They're a hard-headed lot, you know.
Yeah, but good raw material.
I didn't know Siobhan was interested in police work since when.
Well, since she met a certain detective, Lieutenant Oliver Jones, and she figured if he could be a detective, then I could be a detective.
Anyway, she's good. She has good instincts. She'll do real well.
Oh, you don't have to convince me. I'm sold on her.
So, well, it's nice to hear you've got a nice, cushy desk job. No, really, I always figured you for the bomb squad.
Oh, Jim was shot in the leg. He's recovering.
Really? I didn't know that.
How awful.
It's nothing. It's really not. They just want to keep me out of action for a while. You remember Marty Ferris, that friend of ours got winged?
Yeah.
This fella took a slug in the shoulder one time. And his wife was working for a furrier. She'd only been with him for a couple of months, you know, and she made a sling for his arm. It was wintertime. It was that a raccoon or some kind of crazy-looking fur like that? Well, it was the nuttiest thing you ever saw. Anyway, poor Marty looked like he was half man, half bear. Had to be the quickest recovery on record.
Yeah, there were some good old times.
I still have him. Tell me about you, though. Do you enjoy what you're doing? Playing hardball with those judges and all that?
Well, we're still on the same team. The law, you enforce it, I interpret it, they impose it. Did that come out right?
Oh, yeah. It was very impressive. Listen, if you all will excuse me, you know, it's getting late. I better go home.
Yeah.
We can finish this up tomorrow.
Sure. All right, look, I'll see you in the
Oh, no,
morning.
don't get up, please. These booths are not made for etiquette. It was awfully nice meeting you.
Yes, nice meeting you also, Jill.
Jill, wait up. I'll walk with you. Jimmy, it was good seeing you again.
Frank, you take care now, here?
Take care. Goodbye, Faith.
Goodbye.
I hadn't expected so many complications. Was that difficult for you?
Yeah, it was. But then it gets easier every day.
Battling brothers, best friends, and big-time basketball. In the town of Tree Hill, hotties meet the hoops. Be part of the action on and off the court. One Tree Hill premieres Monday, April 9th at 5 on SoapNet.
Where's my baby?
You did come back. I was hoping you would.
Maybe I'm back.
Well, why don't you come on in and sit down? Well, whatever most comfortable for you. What can I do for you, Craig?
That's what I want to know. What goes on in this program of yours? I mean, what will you do for me?
Well, it's really more of a question of what you're willing to do for yourself. We're just here to help you find out what you're about, what kind of person you are, what kind of person you become when you're drinking, why you drink.
What if I know all that already?
Do you?
Why does your type always answer a question with a question?
Well, what do you consider my type?
You're pretty funny.
Why don't we get back to the original question? As I was saying, we're here to help you find out the kind of person you are. Now, we do this in a variety of ways. We have group sessions. We have one-to-one counseling, such as this. We may even include your friends or family members.
Why do they have to get into the act?
Well, they can sometimes help the patient see the type of person he or she becomes when drinking.
Not me. I don't want my family anywhere near here.
I think they'd be willing to participate.
Yeah, I'm sure they would, but I wouldn't.
Why don't you want to involve them?
No, it doesn't matter. I just don't.
Okay. All right, we don't have to talk to them. It'll just be between the two of us. We'll just talk, that's all.
Like a shrink session, is that it? You're a nut doctor.
So that's what you meant about the remark about my type. No, I'm not a psychiatrist, Craig. I'm a doctor. And I'm working here because I have the same problem you have.
You're really an alcoholic?
Mm-hmm.
I mean, not that I am. I just drink sometimes. And I got into a little trouble once or twice because of it.
Well, it's good you came here before it got too serious. Oh, you can beat it once it gets to the alcoholism stage. But it's hard. And I know that the most important factor in any recovery is having someone who will listen. So if you ever feel the need to talk, know that I'm here.
Why don't you have a seat, Seneca?
I see you've already settled into your new offices without any trouble, huh?
My new old offices. I'm afraid I don't have too much development on your divorce case.
Well, I have something new for you. I've run the blood tests on Arlie. She is my child. I want you to handle the custody suit in addition to the divorce.
It's not an easy course to take, Seneca. I mean, it's true that fathers do gain custody of their children more often than they used to. But the courts are still prejudiced in favor of the mothers. A woman has to be found abusive to lose custody, generally.
Well, I think we have a very good case against Kim. Considering her past behavior, she has been emotionally irresponsible time and time again.
That may not be as easy to prove as you would like it to be.
Look, she has endangered that child on several occasions. When I think of her at Elliot's party, high on drugs, standing on that balcony ready to jump. I mean, she was carrying the child then. And it'd take off just before the baby was born. If you and Frank hadn't found her, you know.
I know that. But I don't think it's going to be an easy thing for a courtroom to accept as irrefutable evidence that Kimberly is an unfit mother. Now, she didn't know that she was pregnant at Elliot's party. And as I recall, it was another guest at the party that drugged her as some sort of prank. And as for the other evening, it was too early. Kimberly didn't even know she was in labor until the very end.
All right. How's this for proof? She tried to sell our baby to the highest bidder.
What about Ray? I've talked to her. She is just as determined as you are, Seneca, to gain custody of Arlie.
I don't see why I have to be concerned about Ray. What legal right could she possibly have to the baby? And even if she did, she's already proved herself to be as bad a mother as Kimberly could ever be.
That's true enough, and your case is much stronger than hers. But there are situations where grandparents have gained custody of their grandchildren. Not as much as the fathers, but Ray has power. She has influence, and she has money.
She couldn't possibly have a chance.
Seneca, I don't want you to underestimate Ray. A few days ago, she was talking just as strongly as you are now, that you couldn't possibly be the father. Even when Frank told her that you were legally, no matter what. She's obsessed with this child. She sees it as a second chance to make up for the way she failed Kimberly. I don't think you should take her lightly. She has power and influence. And if she and Kimberly get together, you've got a long, hard battle in front of you. I want you to be aware of that.
I understand. But it's not going to stop me from fighting. I want custody of my daughter.
Okay. I just wanted you to know how involved the problems are. And I will help you. If you're determined to go through with this, I will represent you.
Good. And we're going to win.
Where's my baby? She's not there. I can't find her. She was in one of those cart things.
The isolette. Well, she doesn't need it anymore. She gained so much weight, we felt she'd do fine on her own.
She's doing okay?
She certainly is. Would you like to see her?
No. Going back to my room now.
Come on in, Mrs. Bolak.
Is it allowed?
course. Why don't you pick it up?
I couldn't do that.
Sure you could. You won't break.
I don't think I can. I always heard you're supposed to be real careful with babies so that you don't hurt their necks or their heads or...
I'm right here. I'll make sure you don't do anything wrong.
I'm really baby fat. I think I'm a terrible mother.
Don't be silly. I've seen more women than you can imagine come through here. What you're having is a perfectly normal reaction. Absolutely. Many women are afraid to get too attached to their premature babies because they're so tiny and so fragile looking. Well, if I can be totally honest, it's because it's harder to lose a baby that you've let yourself love too much. Of course, the way I see it, you can't love a child too much. People shouldn't be afraid of loving. Love is such a wonderful gift, no matter how long a time it lasts. If we always knew when we were going to lose someone that's dear to us, would we ever let anybody come close at all? Ron, I'm sorry, I didn't mean to upset you. Your baby is going to be just fine.
So tiny.
Not really. She already weighs over 5 pounds. Why don't you pick her up?
How?
Support her head with this hand. Right under her head. There, and slip this hand under Barney. Okay. Just nestle her in the crook of your hand. That's it. Like so.
You must be uncomfortable. Why don't you come in and sit down?
Oh, maybe for a couple of minutes.
Do you have any problems you want to talk about?
Yeah, not really. Just felt like shooting the bull a little.
It's an interesting hairstyle.
The first person older than me that said a word about it. Usually they give me this, it's his way of asking for attention look, and they ignore me.
They who?
Older people.
But you're not asking for attention.
Not from them. From my friends, yes. People don't generally go putting chemicals in their hair without a good reason. I like looking cool. I'm into punk.
I thought punk was out.
It is? What's in?
Roach music.
You know about Robert and the Roaches?
Mm-hmm, sure. In fact, a kid who's in the program, he had tickets to their show last spring. And he couldn't go, so he gave them to me.
No kidding.
Yeah.
You went?
Yeah.
How were they?
Well, they were different from anything I'd ever heard or seen. But I had fun.
Yeah, I like them a lot. But I have a friend who doesn't. You know, sometimes I think the New York music scene is divided into 2 camps. They're the ones who listen to them because it's cool to pick up on British trends. And the ones who are too hip to get into everything that's big in England. But I don't care about all that. Like you say, it's fun.
What have you been doing all this time?
Drawing. I guess it's you.
I guess it is. Can I have it?
Well, it's just a sloppy sketch.
No, I'd really like to keep. I think it's excellent.
Oh, okay. Think it'll be worth something someday?
Well, it just might be. Thank you. Do you want to pursue a career in art?
Oh, I don't know. It's sort of like pursuing starvation.
Yeah.
No, most of the artists I know in the city work in galleries as salespeople, selling stuff they think is terrible,